So with the conversation about Black Myth Wukong not coming to the Xbox, I have basically come to the safest conclusion that I can, which is that the developers basically ran out of time when it came to actually developing their game. I strongly believe that the logistics of having multiple ports is very challenging. Contrary to what a lot of people are throwing out here, especially on the PlayStation side, that it's the fault of the Series S and all of this stuff, which I think is absolutely just nonsense. It comes from a place of people not necessarily wanting to take a look at what hardware reality is. In fact, I made 2 videos where I showed that, hardware that is less powerful than the Series S can run Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, can run Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales on PC. And some people said, well, these are cross-gen games. These are not next-gen games. Then I went ahead and bought Ratchet and Clank, which is the next-gen game, and showed it running on hardware that is exactly what they recommended. Somebody had a video on YouTube showing the exact gameplay of the specs. I don't know where they would have found a CPU like that. And a GTX 970, perhaps they had it for years and never even bothered selling it. And then showing that, a game like that can be squeezed into a, hardware that's less powerful than the Series S. What's stopping the Series S other than just logistics and the developers not, being able to optimize their game? However, the new development is actually showing that, according to 3 games journalists at this point, Tom Warren, Paul Tassi, and even back to Jez Corden, that there might have been an exclusivity deal inside the workings of this. My opinion to what they're saying is I am not certain that I can actually take that at face value. Even though this conclusion lines up with my suspicions, I still decide to stand over on the suspicion side. Do you know why? Because just a minute ago, we were all led to believe that it was actually hardware based. I wanted to give the developers the benefit of the doubt, and I made my video saying I think it's logistics based. I don't think the Series S is the problem, of which we now have seen the game run on less powerful hardware. It runs on a Steam Deck, not great, but a Steam Deck is not comparable to a Series S by any measure. Series S is a more powerful device than it. So I don't see how Wukong Black Myth cannot run on a Series S, especially from developers who prioritize their optimization once they do. But the possibility that PlayStation could have money had at this game, it doesn't really escape me. However, this is just so weird and everything just feels convoluted at the end of the day that I wish this report had never even made its way out. And I'm saying this as somebody who has criticized PlayStation for money hiding as a terrible practice. Because at the end of the day, this is then going to then reduce the conversation to banalities and just things that we don't need instead of having some of the real core conversations surrounding all of this stuff, which is weird, and I wasn't going to make a video. One of my audience members pointed this out to me. They said, dude, this report has come out. And I said, yeah, I saw it. I usually like waiting 72 hours before I actually point this out. However, what's made me actually decide that I'm going to address this is because I saw these 3 gentlemen actually start throwing their weight behind it. IGN has an article. Paul Tassi has his article on Forbes. Tom Warren is citing it. Now, I will tell you that I'll be the first to tell you that I'm, sometimes skeptic about what these gentlemen write in their outlets. I'll be the first to tell you. So that probably may be another reason. I mean, sorry to say, it is what it is. I've been somewhat disillusioned by thinking that I could get, reliable news from games journalists. So you can't blame me if I look at this and say, even though it may match my suspicions, I still want to take a step back and possibly wait till we can see something quite official in this regard. That's how I see it. It's just what it is. I mean, I just don't need to be jumping into some conclusion and then ending up being, wrong. I'm better off being skeptic and being cautious. And I say for those who, those of us who, who are looking at this from an objective perspective, who are trying to at least look at it from an objective perspective, that's the best that we can do. It really is the best that can be done right now. Because again, I mean, guys and girls, think about it. It's not so far from the truth. That's where the biggest challenge is. Because PlayStation does money hack games, has money hatted games, will money hack games if they had the opportunity to do so. Then there are also things that lend credence to that, to the possibility that this might not be true, which is why PlayStation did not, bother to market this game like crazy, of which some people have also posed another sub-argument under that saying, well, sometimes they don't market games that heavily that they don't make. I've seen that, in some instances before. So you could look at, at all of these pertaining scenarios and go, whoa, what's actually, the reality here? But here we have the official statements. You can interpret it how you want, and it will almost fit whatever it is that you think. Isn't that crazy? It's a weird scenario. We're excited for the launch. This is Microsoft's statement. We're excited for the launch of Black Myth Wukong on Xbox Series X and S, and are working with Game Science to bring the game to our platforms. We can't comment on the deals made by our partners with other platform holders, but we remain focused on making Xbox the best platform for gamers. And great games are at the center of that. I read this and I'm like, oh, the game is coming to Xbox, and possibly they're still in negotiations, maybe on a paper level, or maybe Game Science is still going through certification, like we heard from that other rumor, even though I pointed out that's a rumor. But when you see something like this from the official sources, you can say, okay, maybe there's some, somebody didn't sign, a dotted line, and they just send the paperwork back, and okay, let's sign the paperwork, right? You can conclude that from here. Then Game Science has their own, statement saying, it's not up to our standards on Xbox, so let's just go ahead and, we're going to bring out the other versions. We've seen it done in Baldur's Gate 3. It's not an uncommon practice. A source with knowledge, according to Paul Tassi, of the situation has told me that Black Myth Wukong is not currently on Xbox because of an exclusivity deal, and is not delayed because of any sort of technical issue. These are two very big claims, Paul. Are you sure that you want, you must be really sure and certain of what it is that you're claiming in these, with these statements. And these are no small claims, my dude. I mean, I'm just here saying, man, I really don't know. I need time and I need more information, because we'll eventually get it. It's hard to keep a lid on stuff anyways in this industry these days. I mean, the game is barely 10 days old, and we already got like juicy details all over the place. We saw their NDA, form leak. Do y'all remember when Paul Tassi was like, well, here are the rules and guidelines, for this game, and it just leaked. It's crazy. And I'm sure, some of you are probably wondering, why is he not using Wukong footage? It's on my other PC, guys. I'm sorry. For some reason, Wukong is playing poorly on my 4090, but my cheap build is running that game so smooth. I've seen weird stuff on PC though. I shouldn't say that. This one was kind of a little weird, but that's where all the footage is. And honestly, I don't want to go copy and then come back here and then edit this video. I got to go to bed. And so I just thought, man, as best as I can muster at this moment in time, I don't know. We'll see. Time's going to tell us a few more details. And I think the best approach is to wait. Drawing conclusions, yeah, maybe you can draw conclusions up towards the safer side and say, let's go with what the developer said. It's technical issues, peace, no problem. Let's go with what Microsoft said and interpret it in the safest way possible, which is game is still coming. Those are two scenarios that are still good. Until we start digging deeper and seeing different things, I think we can then finally form other conclusions. This is just my take on the issue. Thanks for watching. Peace out.